This week on What the Heck, we check in with Tyler, talk about what we'd do with $500 million, and then decide which TV characters or hosts we'd like to be stuck with in a house. Crack a cold one, kick your feet up, and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 10 of What the Heck. We made it into double digits. I'm here tonight with Jake Reese and Tyler Heck. I'm Collin Frederick. How are you guys doing tonight?
Fabulous.
Great. It's not, the temperature's starting to, I know it's going to go back up, but it's not too bad out right now.
Seems like it's still 90.
Well, compared to
77 actually when we pulled in the driveway.
Kidding.
Yeah. It's not bad.
Felt great.
A little humid.
Windows down. Nice breeze in the
better
truck.
than the last 2 or 3 days.
We've talked in the past about windows down and air conditioning and that kind of stuff. Katie's not here for it. She's purely an air conditioning kind of lady.
Oh, that's too bad.
It stresses me out. Like, we could do both. If you're really concerned, you could scoot your little head closer to the vent. Get a little extra airflow.
Roll the window halfway up and get the air.
That's usually what happens. Is she'll roll hers up and be satisfied because the wind's not beating on her face.
Sure.
And then I just open everything else and try and get some airflow in that joint.
That's part of the experience.
You need it. Some days it's nicer than others.
Yeah.
But it's so important to me,
It's the simple things.
It's the little things in life, like bugs in your face with the wind.
Just take the wind. I could do without the bugs in my face, but either way.
I don't think I've ever
understand.
gotten a bug in my face.
Oh, do you not hang your head out the window like a dog when you're driving?
Not as I'm driving. Maybe as I'm riding.
Ace Ventura style.
I do. Speaking of dogs and riding, one time I was driving, totally unrelated, but very important. I was driving, and I drove past a man on a motorcycle, and he had a sidecar with a dog in it. And the dog had goggles on, and I almost crashed my truck because I was so excited about what I just saw.
You went on Amazon and see what you could get for Uke?
Yeah. I was like, well, I'm not really interested in motorcycles, but now I am. So I'm buying one with a sidecar.
And goggles.
It was the
That's
greatest
awesome.
thing. Yeah, so that's kind of the pinnacle of my life. So it's all downhill from here. What,
I think we should announce to all our fans out in podcast land that we are officially out of Airheads.
we'd made it.
It's taken longer than we said.
Yeah, we should
and
have.
longer than we expected.
We should have done this at least 4 episodes ago, but
To be fair, what happened was we got down to the blue ones, and then it's kind of like pulling teeth to get them gone. So if anyone wants to provide more airheads, please feel free to eat the blue ones.
and the orange ones.
Yes.
And
No,
the orange
don't leave the orange ones.
Leave
I'll
the
take
orange
those.
ones for the guy with the orange hair.
Yep. That's mine. Those are mine. Blue you can take, though.
But we also accepted dinners at your home with your family, baked goods,
Cold natter days.
knitted clothing items. We could all use winters just around the
It's
corner.
coming
Stocking
soon
caps.
to Wisconsin.
If you start now, by the cold weather, we might have 3 stocking caps. So that would be good, maybe with the logo on
I
there.
could really use one, too, for my...
He especially
hairless head.
could.
Or a mask.
Oh, and yes, a knitted mask. Can you imagine how sweaty your face would be? That'd be horrible. And it wouldn't stop anything because there'd be holes in it.
But it would look cool.
It would look neat.
You would look so neat. Sharp, as the old timers say. Oh, that's really sharp. So anyway, tonight, Tyler's got some kind of mysterious something. I haven't talked to him about it, so
I haven't. Usually we
usually
bring up something.
we
but
at least get like a
nope.
hint, and not
super
tonight.
secret tonight.
So this
think
will
you're
be
gonna like it,
interesting. That's what you think. We're going to talk about Patrick Mahomes. Not really about Patrick Mahomes, just more about his new bank account, and also about who we'd like to quarantine with if we got the chance. So without further ado, Tyler, what the heck?
Before we get to this week's topic, I actually want to revisit last week's topic because I know I want to, and I think our listeners want to hear Jake's top 3 funniest people.
Well, some of them were touched upon, honestly. Like, as you guys came up with that, I'm, like, writing them down.
That's so sweet of you to say.
I was doing that. But anyway.
I don't think he meant you.
No.
That's just Katie.
I'm not, yeah. Which, by the way, I pulled my garbage can out and had to vomit a little bit when these two lovebirds were going back and forth.
Hey.
I guess. Either way.
You know what? Not everybody gets to be loved.
Will Ferrell, he's right up there. Probably number two I'm going to go with.
Watch Eurovision.
I just haven't. I have a busy life. I haven't got around to it.
You can do it.
I will watch it when you watch Eight Men Out.
I'm sure the kids would love to watch it too.
If somebody could provide me the Cliff Notes, please.
Just watched Talladega Nights over the weekend, start to finish. So, it's a big one. Chris Farley, always been a big fan of Chris Farley. On a side note with Chris Farley, because he's a big Madison guy, my brother Luke was in a adult establishment down on State Street, and Chris Farley walked in and just said, "Drinks on the house," and flipped open a tab and proceeded to buy everybody in the bar drinks for the rest of the evening, which is probably part of the problem, I think, with his life. But anyway, my brother said it's pretty cool. He said he just went around talking to people in the bar and hanging out, played some pool with people in there and threw some darts, and was just kind of like one of the guys.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I like that.
The third one I struggled with. There's just I like, Katie brought up, Kevin Hart.
Oh, sure.
He's pretty cool. He's right up there. I don't know. I was hard. Those top two, like, cream rose to the top, and then it was complete separation from a third. Eddie Murphy used to be, back when he did his stand-up comedy and, like, Coming to America and, like, some of those movies.
Did you ever see that picture of him eating a steak on a naked woman's back?
I did not.
Sometimes it shows up on the internet. That's pretty interesting.
When you Google Eddie Murphy eating steak on a naked woman's
seen it
back.
on Twitter. He's like on a balcony in some foreign land, and there's just a naked woman laying there, and he's eating a steak. And he's holding a knife like he's going to cut the steak, but that doesn't seem very nice.
No.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, everyone, please look that up.
We need to find this picture.
Yep.
But Beverly Hills Cop. He was in some pretty good, pretty slick shows back in the day, and his stand-up routine.
Old timer.
That's why I knew you guys would give me a hard time.
No,
but
I have Delirious on DVD.
Okay, good.
That might be one of my favorite.
No.
stand-ups of all
That's
time.
not why I'm calling him old timer. I said because he saw some slick shows.
Whatever. So those, I think he's probably going to be my third then. So
Nice.
I really like Daddy Daycare. One of his oldest works. Daddy Daycare 2.
His oldest work.
not his oldest
Dr.
works.
Dolittle 3.
He's his oldest in those works.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, you're going the other way with his career.
Well, I think that's just what people...
What was the one?
the one.
The one where he was the. Oh wow, that is the steak picture. That's pretty cool.
If you just Google Eddie Murphy steak, it's the first thing that comes up.
All right, so everyone needs to go search that right now. Eddie Murphy.
I was
steak.
wrong. It looks like he's not holding a knife, but there's a pile of French fries.
Oh, so it's not a steak; it's just a French fries.
No, it says no. There's a hunk of meat there,
and French fries
also
surrounding
a
it.
steak. Just kidding. That was insensitive. Sorry.
All right, so
So Daddy Daycare then, right?
yes, great movie. All right, so
What the
let's
heck?
get to this week, and I do think you guys are gonna like this. I think it's gonna be difficult though because I actually don't even have my answer yet. I've been racking my brain since yesterday trying to figure it out. Don't know, but who is your favorite Impractical Joker?
Oh,
Oh man, that's a tough one. I like them all so much. I just watched Little Impractical Jokers before I came over here.
I was as well.
I fell asleep to it last night.
I have a follow-up after this as well, but I want to know answers first.
Go ahead, Colin.
Oh, balls.
Can't say that on the air.
I'm working through it. I meant like basketballs and stuff.
Got it. Soccer balls, tennis
yep.
balls.
Sports balls. Yep.
Sports balls. I think Murr. I don't know. I was trying to like rank them in reverse order, and I don't even know.
Nope, just the
Right?
you only
They're
need
just
one.
So different.
I'll
Like-
give you one just because it's I'm just going to pick one and go with it. I'm going Joe.
That was one of my thoughts because Joe just doesn't give a shit about
No.
anything. He just
He
does it.
rarely cares, and he'll like play like I don't think I can do that, and he'll like come to the back and be like, oh no, I'm gonna go do it. Like that was one of the episodes I saw tonight. He was like in the waiting room. It's when they were sending him text messages, and you're supposed to read it to the person you're with and get some help with it. And it was I don't remember what it was even about, but he sat there for like ever. And they're like, oh, he's not going to do it. And he gets up and walks out, comes to the back of the room, just peeks his head and goes, oh, you guys don't think I'll do it? Goes right back out, sits down, and goes right into it.
He's good. Sal's good, but he's kind of whiny.
Yeah, Sal's he's afraid of everything.
He's afraid of everything, which sometimes is entertaining, but does not make him my favorite.
You know what I found out? Sal was recently doing stand-up in Black River Falls at Ho Chunk right before quarantine.
Really?
Yeah. My dad told me.
I'd have gone.
I would have gone too.
Apparently he was there a couple weeks
I
before
think I'd go with
quarantine.
Q.
I was just going to say, Q's underrated.
Q's up there for
Q's
me.
underrated.
like
I
him.
think he's definitely underrated.
I think he's gotten a
He's
lot
gotten better.
better over time.
And Murr, I can't figure out why he always wears that wig.
I think
That
that's
was-
funny
The wig is one of the
when he
I know,
shaved
I
his
know,
head
but
and-
it like it's
wasn't
just, like,
that
it
was
very
punishment.
randomly comes
it
back.
was somebody's wasn't it
It was
Q's
a
hair?
punishment. It was Q's hair, and he had to finish the rest of the season wearing it. But they play him out of order.
Oh,
Yeah.
so,
you
that's
don't
why
actually,
it's random.
Yeah,
Yes,
so it's the
and
end of
it's
like season 2.
So it's not even
Gross.
like him just being funny. Fine, Murr.
No, it's
Is
the
out.
boys being funny.
No, that's a sweet punishment though.
That is
It was
sweet.
pretty good.
Because didn't he have to take a driver's test or something, and he
He-
got his driver's license
So
with the hair?
There was one punishment before that where they shaved off his eyebrows
Yep,
and
yep,
everything.
I
and he had
remember
to do
that.
his driver's test or get a driver's license, and then he had the wig on, and they made him get his passport.
Passport. That's
so
what
his
it was.
ID has no hair, and his passport has the wig on.
I think I got to go with Joe because he just does it, and I think it's great.
If Sal wasn't so whiny, he has some pretty great like moments.
Yeah.
Although,
Like the punishment I just was watching yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, it was Sunday, where he lost, and they made him go in the senior citizen pool, and he had to take the
all
photos.
the pictures, yeah.
And so they're taking it's like a senior citizen like swim
Yeah.
aerobic class, and they sold the senior citizens that they're doing like a video shoot for like a new advertising campaign. So he had to like jump in the water and like take pictures underwater and pop up in people's faces and take pictures. And
I think that my favorite Sal punishment, and it might be enough to make Sal at least towards the top of my list, was the one where he was a server with drunk goggles on. Oh man,
Yeah.
he's just dumping water all over everyone and taking out tables. That was so good.
See, I thought of it because it's so difficult.
It's
to
like
pick-
they're all so different.
Like you can pick one, but then you're like, oh wait, but he's really good too.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to see what you guys would say. But also on the same subject, have you guys watched Dinner Party at all with them?
no, I haven't.
What's that?
It's pretty good. So they're on like a Zoom call. They're eating dinner together and they just talk and hang out. But they bring up like random stories. They'll call in guests who will come and join. Like on the first episode, I think they brought in their old history teacher from high school. They've had Jeff Daniels, Ed Harris. Like they bring in people, but it's just them like talking, hanging out. But they each like host the dinner, and whoever hosts picks a meal. And you find out pretty early that Sal can't cook for crap. So I think he orders everything out except for he picked like pizza one night and made his own pizza. And Q gets all of his meals from his neighbor, Mrs. Calabash, and that's like a running joke on the show. But it's pretty funny, and they just like they're pretty much like when they're back behind the scenes on the show, like that's all it is.
Is this
They're
just like on
sitting-
YouTube or something?
No, it's on like True TV.
On TV?
Yeah,
Oh,
they like
geez.
actually the
I'm
new
gonna have to go
episode.
home and
Yeah.
look at it.
It aired the seventh or eighth episode comes out tomorrow.
Okay,
It's every Thursday, so it's pretty good.
I'll check that out.
I saw the first one a couple weeks ago, And then my parents brought it up yesterday, so I watched a couple episodes, and then like last night I got home and I think I watched the first 3 episodes.
You binge
again.
watched them all on demand.
I've got 2 left. I mean, there's only 6 or 7.
So could we come up with a consensus though that Murr's probably our least favorite of the 4? He has his flashes of brilliance, but
least favorite, but still
great.
they're all great.
I find I laugh at him more than I'm laughing like with him.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the other guys, I'll laugh like with what they're doing, but they'll pick on Murray. I'm like, oh yeah, that's hilarious, and he kind of deserves it.
Seems to me that he says no to a lot more than the other guys.
Yeah, he does.
I would say I'm probably between Sal and Joe. Would be my top 2.
Even though Sal's so whiny,
He's kind of whiny, but like, I don't know.
I think that's part of why I kind of like
That's
him
kinda-
because he whines, but he still
He
will
still does it,
like go through a lot of it, and he gets a lot of crap.
and he's
from
like,
them.
he's
Yeah,
like
he does.
always the one being punished. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
I like that. Nice work. Now I have to go
wait,
watch a show tonight.
did you have a follow up? Oh, was
No,
the
the
dinner
follow-up was the
question?
dinner party.
Okay.
And it's not like it's not called dinner party, like it's just under Impractical Jokers. It's like part of this season, and the episodes are just
Oh,
titled.
so
Dinner
now
Party.
I'm never gonna find it.
So
I was
no,
hoping
you
it
can
was like a
you can
separate thing.
you can
Just
search
search
it by dinner party, but it's like under season 8 of Impractical Jokers.
I don't know. It seems kind of technical for me.
Definitely, it's on Hulu. That's why I've been watching it.
Ah,
Just got it. I searched up
I'm
dinner
going
party,
home and
but
watch a couple tonight.
it's under.
Are you a Hulu guy?
Yep.
Do you have like no commercials or anything?
No,
Oh,
I just get the standard Hulu.
basic.
Yeah. Because
Ugh.
I have because my wife and kids, we have every streaming service under the sun. We have Netflix, we have Prime, we have Hulu, we have Disney Plus.
Do you have HBO?
I do not have HBO.
That's the one I was going to hit you up with. If anybody wants to sponsor next episode by telling me your HBO password so I can watch Game of Thrones.
I was actually wondering that as well because that's all I would watch on there. I've never seen it. and
Although,
everyone tells me
I've
I've
never seen
heard
it either.
I've heard that there are some like really good shows on HBO.
I've
Veep
also heard that.
and Barry and a couple of those.
I haven't heard of those, but
Ballers I always wanted to watch.
Yeah.
I
Ballers.
would want to watch that.
But yeah, if anybody wants to get HBO and share it with the What the Heck, that'd be all right.
We won't share it with anyone
You
else.
could send a
Oh.
private email to where?
It's safe. Oh, well, if you'd like to reach us to hit us up about coming over for dinner or maybe buying us HBO subscriptions, that'd be whattheheckpod@gmail.com.
You can always message us on Facebook as well.
Oh, sure. Right on the wall. Send us a message. Somebody sent us a message this week. They had their first trip to the Sharon Ice Cream Shop. Said it was great. I'm like, duh.
First trip ever? Boy, they've
tried to
been
tell you
living under
this.
a rock.
He wasn't lying, people. It's a good place.
What a good place. And he said, you know, Collin, you were right. Twist is the perfect combination. You know, it's not too much, but it's enough gumption. So,
You just made fun of me for being old and saying slick show, and you just
Gumption?
used the word gumption.
no, gumption's a good word. I think Nick Offerman wrote a book called Gumption. I listened to half of it with my free Audible audiobook play, but then it was too cheap to buy the second half of the book. What are you going to do? So this week, Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs signed the largest deal in the history of sports ball for 10 years, worth up to $503
Yeah,
$503
something
million. So that made me think that I could probably find a way to live off of $50 million a year. Like, it could get tough, but like I think I could do it.
I saw somewhere someone broke it down. He's making like
$96 a minute.
yeah, it's like $8 a second.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Must be nice.
So that doesn't suck. Good for
Yeah.
him. But then I got to thinking, like, what would I really do if I had $500 million? Granted, he's not going to see all that money, and it's over 10 years, and blah, 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 and taxes and all the stuff. But if all of a sudden you've got $500 million in your First National Bank and Trust account,
I wouldn't have it at First National Bank and Trust. That'd be the
Step
first
one.
thing I did.
Or do you have it spread out at enough banks that your
Take advantage of
your
that stuff.
$250,000 insurance is
I'm
safe?
not sure I'd go into 487 banks and put up that much money.
Hello, I'm sorry, but I just need to max out my FDIC secure loan. So what is it just clears. You check the app on your phone because they finally got an app at First National. Bam!
Bam. $500 million in my checking
Not even
account.
enough room on the line for all the zeros.
I have 3 lines for the same account.
Step 1, what are you doing? After you quit your job.
I'm not sure I'd quit my job.
I am. I'm the most sure.
I might go in and say, I only want to work with 5 people.
That's
and then,
true.
like,
I'd probably keep the job because I'd need some stimulation in my brain.
I mean,
But I'm coming in on Tuesdays for an hour and a half in the afternoon.
I'm
Right.
just here to show my face.
right. I might bring them lunch. Like, I'll be here every Tuesday from 11 to 1, and I'm going to eat lunch with you guys from 11:30 to 12:30. So don't ask me too many questions outside of that. I don't know. That's tough. I don't know.
I've been thinking about it all
Come
day,
back.
so I'll go.
You go. I haven't been thinking about it all day.
The very first thing that I would do is buy the largest ranch that I could find in the state of Montana.
So just the state of Montana.
Just buy the whole state.
Well, I found one today. I was looking.
Oh,
I was
you're
shopping.
planning to be.
Yeah, because sometimes weird stuff happens. Oh shoot, somebody accidentally gave me $500,000 or $1
Maybe
million.
Patrick Mahomes signed his contract with your name on
He
it.
endorsed it for deposit only by Collin Frederick. I found one, and for $15 million,
That's reasonable.
I could buy just shy of 10,000 acres. Which, that feels like I probably could ride a 4-wheeler around.
Yeah, you put up a couple trails here or there. You know.
So that would be step 1. Step 2 is I would buy a jet so that I didn't have to deal with getting to Montana all the time. Because that's just a pain.
On 10,000 acres, you might be able to put a runway in
I'm
somewhere.
thinking we could squeeze one in there.
It'll
And
be tight, but
then I would spend 86% of my time there, and in the fall I'd just chase elk around.
do you take visitors?
Well, only when it's not elk season. I'll be very busy then. Laser focused.
Would that be our new podcast location then?
Yeah, I could build like a little garden shed.
And so
You can't come into the main lodge.
got it. We would be responsible for our own transportation and lodging.
Yep, if you get there, I'd let you probably set up a tent in one of the, quadrants. Because it'd be like a national forest, I have a hard time wrapping my head around what 10,000 acres.
acres.
It feels like enough, though.
I would have to say I
Barely.
agree with you.
Like my parents live on 5, and
it's on
that
the
is a
low end.
reasonably decent sized chunk of land. That seems like you could do some stuff there.
Yeah.
Not a lot of elk, but I'm thinking if you multiplied it by that many times, you probably could.
It's only 10,000 times the size.
What? I think that would do. So those would be step 1 and 2 for me. Step 3, I don't know. How far do I go? Do I talk about the kennel I would build and the 8 more labs I would buy? My new truck?
Is that step 3?
Might be. Well, no.
Wow,
No, step 3 would be a different and larger primary residence. I'm not going to live in Montana full time. It's a vacation home.
Oh, I thought that was where you
Just for
moved full
elks.
time.
Oh, no, I got to be around here. I'd move outside of Sharon.
I was
build a
going to say,
house.
how's he going to get a Sharon ice cream? if
Yeah,
he's out
come
in Montana?
on.
And I forgot you're gonna work one day, a Tuesday afternoon. So you got to be around here to work
I gotta
Tuesday
be here.
afternoons.
Wednesday, I got to close down the ice cream shop that I'll own by then.
The what the heck ice cream shop?
What the heck? So I got big plans, but still small plans because I'm staying here. The rest of it I'd put in a trust because the taxes on 10,000 acres and a giant log home are probably ungodly.
I would imagine. Yeah. I'll go next because I would go number 1.
Is this where you're going to say real sappy stuff that makes me sound bad for just wanting to buy a huge chunk of land?
That's the whole purpose.
I'd like to just buy some quality time with my family. Not like my family can come to my giant lodge. That's okay.
Oh,
There's enough
you
room
just
you
said
could
Tyler
scout
and I
out.
couldn't come. I guess we're not family.
I said you can come to the property.
I'm gonna be on the property. You won't even know where.
Yeah,
It's so big.
we'll be back in the 9,998th
Nope,
acre, and
I
you
will
won't
have-
know.
I'll have armed
We'll have a
guards.
house built in that back corner before you even know we're out there.
I didn't even know this was here.
It'll be 7 years down the road, and you'll roll up on our house, and Tyler and I'll be like, "Hey, we're just chilling in our vacation home."
Now it's common law. We live here. Sorry.
You know, to that point, I would probably do something similar, except I know that my wife and I would like to get some land up north, in like northern Wisconsin, in the woods, either in the woods with some hunting land where we could do some four-wheeling and stuff, or woods.
Does your wife like to hunt and/or four-wheel?
She likes to four-wheel.
Is that a verb? Four-wheel?
I think it is. Yeah,
All right.
and a
I
noun.
think so. I'll allow it.
10-4.
Thanks for the approval. Or something with some water up in the northern Wisconsin. Woods and water would be ideal if we could
like a
find
swamp?
both. No, more like a small lake. Maybe our own private lake. I mean, if I got $500 million, I think I could find a small lake and some woods around it to buy.
Yeah. Kick,
Well, that's the
kick
thing.
the
Is
few
you got to just
couples
buy
out
the
there.
land around it because the water's technically public.
Well,
domain.
you're right.
So you just have to landlock it, and then nobody can get to it. Then it's
Sure.
as good as yours.
Then I pretty much own it all.
I have a buddy with that situation. It's not a bad gig.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's probably what I would do first, I think. And again, not sure that'd be my primary residence either, just because that'd be my getaway, you know. I wouldn't want to live up in northern Wisconsin. I mean, winters are tough enough here. I don't need to go 5-6 hours north of here. and
Sure,
have
but
a
you could
winter.
like pay somebody to plow your driveway.
Yeah, but I don't want to deal with all that.
You could,
I'm not a big like snowmobile guy or ice fishing guy, so that takes me out of the hardcore winter activities.
I really enjoy snowmobiling, but it's just like, unless you're willing to travel all the time,
Right.
Like we don't live in an area that's real consistently conducive for snowmobiling.
Right. I would probably next, depending whether this happened in the near future or the long-term future, but I would look. I have two brothers and a mom and a dad that you all know them well. I would look and be like, hey, I'm not gonna buy you guys a lake and a woods like I just bought myself, but I'd be willing to be like, hey,
Like, here's
you guys,
a golf cart.
you guys want even like you guys want 10 acres or 20 acres of hunting land, or you want something that I could help you with? If I got $500 million, I think I could afford to spend, $500,000 on each of them to get them some land to hunt and recreation time on, and
That's reasonable.
just something to take care of those that helped to get me to my $500,000 contract in whatever I get it in.
Sports ball.
Sports balls. Yep.
I'd probably, now I'm thinking about it, I think I would keep my current house and just let Uke live here, and then I would build elsewhere. It's it seems wasteful to like build him a kennel when this house is perfectly fine
You
for a
let
dog.
him poop all over the house?
No, he's very advanced.
so
I would
you teach
pay,
him how to use the toilet?
well, I would pay a lot to have him trained to use the toilet.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you got the money. Why not, right?
Right, and he could like make a pot of coffee, and I'd come over in the morning, and we'd chat, and I'd throw a ball, and we'd drink some Joe.
Are we talking like 700 years down the road? Like, when is this money hitting? Because
Oh, no.
you're talking like George Jetson time. Like, your dog's going to be like chilling with you and hanging out with you.
You could probably train your dog to do whatever you want with enough money.
I think you're watching too much Scooby Doo.
I don't know. I've seen you. It's going to take a lot of money to get him trained up to that level.
I think I guess if we're doing steps here, I think my step one would be very similar to both of yours. I'd try to find some land somewhere.
Like Kansas.
If you would have asked me like last week, I would have been like probably hunting land all the way.
But not in the last week, you don't like hunting anymore?
No, I do, but I think I'd rather be on the water. Like, okay,
That's
Land
why I
to
want
live
water
on,
and
like-
hunting land.
Yeah.
both.
Like,
life
if
is sad,
I want somewhere
Salt
like
life,
if I'm gonna
man.
live, I want to be on the lake during the day.
so you can shred the gnar with your
Yeah.
bros.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Sick.
I don't know. You have really fair skin. Would you be
Yes,
okay on the lake
fact.
all day?
You'd
Oh,
have to wear.
Well,
like
I've got
a-
money. I would just buy like banana boat.
and the whole company.
That's
Got
like,
it.
that's
Whole
step
company.
four.
and also a sombrero.
That's step 4.
Step 3 is the
But yeah,
sombrero.
I'd find something on the water somewhere. I don't know if I'd even go anything like big because it wouldn't be permanent.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be just 4 or 5 months out of the year. Definitely, I mean, I'd go up north for sure. But something on the water for that. I definitely would look for some hunting land somewhere. But I think I'd put like my grandpa on that. I feel like he would have a much more keen sense
You could
of
buy-
where to buy. So I'd be like, hey, money's not a problem. Just wherever you want to go, let's find it. So I'd kind
Buffalo
of just
County,
put
baby.
that ball
Yeah,
in his
fact.
court. Yeah, for sure. And then I think I'd go
I would actually buy Buffalo
just
County.
Buffalo
The whole county.
Well,
Maybe
I'll
a little
take
bit
this.
of outskirts too.
Yeah.
Put a fence around it.
Build a wall
Yeah, I'm in.
around Buffalo County
I'm offended.
to keep the deer in.
Oh, so you're one of those high fence guys.
Yep.
Yeah. What? Why not? You got the money.
It's just-
My deer.
Um,
If I bought the county, they're mine.
No, they're not.
Yeah, it is.
That's not how it works in
That-
this country.
He owns everything there.
No.
Step 2, I think,
Still
for
America.
me, would be to buy like a 1969 Barracuda to drive around.
Sure. So you're not really a General Motors guy. That's too bad.
No, I mean, I wouldn't turn it down, but that's my car, I think.
Huh.
That's what I'd go with.
That's interesting.
So this will be my last episode on the podcast. I think the name might have to change, but I don't have anything
I own the
against
rights
it.
to your name.
He trademarked
what
it
money?
already.
It's my name.
Yeah.
That's my face. I
You
feel like I'm going to win in
You
court.
can't prove that. That's just a bald guy with
I'm
glasses.
going to win in court.
I could find another one of those tomorrow.
I think I saw one on the way out here tonight.
So those would be my first couple purchases.
Do you think that you would do a lot of traveling outside of just each of us having our own, respective second home, vacation, property, hunting land?
I would do a little bit, but I don't know how long it would last. I mean, there's a handful of places around the world that I'd like to go see, but it'd be like a one and done. Like, okay, saw it, moving on. Like I'd like to go to Africa and go on a safari, but I'm not sure I need to do that like every year or every 5 years. Like one and done. Saw some lions, saw some zebras, giraffes. I'm good to go.
You could pay to just have those brought to your land.
Or you could just go to Animal Kingdom.
I could do all of that, but I'd rather see them in their natural environment.
Yeah, Animal Kingdom.
And a couple places in Europe, and do some things. But I don't think it would be once I exhausted some of that travel, I don't think it would be an all the time travel situation because I'm kind of a homebody. Like, there's so much to see in our own state, our own country that, and if I did buy my own private jet like you, then I'd just fly myself to wherever I needed to get to in the U.S. and see some cool stuff.
I am such a homebody that I have very little desire to travel internationally. I love cruises, so I might check some of those out. I love going to the Florida Keys.
Oh, yeah.
And between up north in Wisconsin and out west, to my ranch, I think I'd be pretty
got it
good.
covered.
You're going to be
Would
spending
yeah.
so much time on that land. I don't think
Oh,
you're going to have
man.
time
I'm going to have to
travel.
spend a lot of time there to even see it all.
Yeah.
It'd be like traveling the country just in itself.
Just on 10,000 acres.
Yeah, it's tough. Might also buy a place in Canada. See if I can get after some moose. There's more moose up there than there is here.
That's not a bad idea. I think the one place I'd go maybe every year would be like Alaska.
I could get behind
To
that.
do like a fishing trip or a
Yeah, I
hunting
could
trip in
do that,
Alaska.
too.
Like, it wouldn't be the same place
on my bucket
every year,
list.
I don't think. But if I had the money, I'd definitely go more than once there. But other than that, I'd go. I think a safari would be cool, but it's not something I'd have to do multiple times. I mean,
Mhm.
unless the first one wasn't great, but I'd probably be okay with just one. But yeah, I think Alaska would be on my list multiple times.
My one real bucket list travel item is I would love to see the Northern Lights and stay in one of those cool little glass igloo deals.
Those would
That'd
be
be
awesome.
awesome.
That's like the one thing that I'm interested in traveling to do. Other than that, I can kind of take it or leave it for the most part. So I'd do that. I would buy a glass igloo thing that I could occasionally fly to with my jet. Now, because we're all decent humans, my final question on the topic is like, what would you do good for the world? What do you think? Like, if you had to pick one contribution that you would make, what would it be?
I'll go first. I think I would do some sort of I come from a family of educators. I think I would.
He's gonna take mine.
Sorry, bro. That's why I'm lucky I went first.
Dang it.
You know, coming from a family of educators, working with in my professional life a lot of educators, I'm not sure it'd be a school. I'd have to sit down, put pen to paper to figure the thoughts out. But I would do some sort of a tutoring center or some sort of after-school programs for kids, and not just like Walworth County, but like set something up nationwide. Obviously, with $500 million, I could afford multiple locations to help kids that are, under either impoverished or they're under, performing in studies, and help them get the extra work to really try and get them up and accelerating in their studies.
I think I'd also stay in the education area. Just because of my. Well, I don't think I would do that though. I think I'd go into the schools instead of doing something like outside of school. I think I'd something to help get the schools more money, because I think that's pretty important to me right now. I don't think that would change when I got all this money.
I think they should
if I
start
got all
selling
this
beer
money.
at sporting events, and they would have more money. I would lobby for that.
While I don't
7th and 8th grade
disagree-
flag football should sell beer.
Yeah, not to the kids.
Oh, just the parents on the sideline that are yelling at their 7th and 8th graders.
That's
sober.
correct.
Got it.
Yep.
Well, I'll bring that up at the next board meeting and
Thank
see
you.
if we can't get the ball rolling
I
on
don't
that.
see why you wouldn't.
I'll run the concessions.
Fact. Yeah, we'll have like a beer card at each game. I'm into that. My thing is, I guess, kind of similar, but throughout college, I was a mentor with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and like totally loved that program and wish that it was, like there's just not that much of it in, more rural, smaller communities. And I've been like kind of in talks with Sharon School and like trying to get a program like that started, like a community-based mentorship program. But having, I think, some money would help me to broaden that reach a little bit. But it's just like that program in itself was super rewarding. I think I matched with my like little, right away my freshman year. I think he was in 3rd grade or 4th grade. And he just graduated 8th grade now, and we've like kept in touch via email, and so we talk like once a month or whatever. But I saw him once a week, all 4 years of school, and that relationship grew, and I think that it was as good for me as it was for him, probably. But I'd like to see like that kind of program be more accessible to students that still, I think, kind of need that kind of guidance in more rural communities. So that's probably where my attention would go.
It's a great idea. I like that.
Yeah, sports ball.
Sports ball makes it all happen.
So now,
The moment we've all been waiting for.
I don't know if anyone's waiting, but you're getting it anyway. We've been living in this uncertain time of quarantine and staying at home and being only with our families for a while. I mean, that's better now than it was for a long time, but for a while, everybody was pretty much only seeing the same faces every single day, which, it's great. We all love our families, and that's terrific. However, if you had to assemble a quarantine house, the people you were stuck with for an extended period of time, based only on fictional TV characters and real-life TV personalities, I'd like to know who those 4 people would be. And we're going to do it in the format of a snake draft. So you can't take somebody that somebody else already has. And I know that we've all got kind of similar tastes, so that could be a little tricky.
It's going to be interesting.
So, just based on how we're sitting, Jake, you will go first.
Nailed it.
You'll have pick 1. Tyler will have 2. I'll have 3 and 4, and vice versa.
And how many we're picking? 4 total?
4
total.
total.
I just think this.
Oh, I forgot to mention.
Oh, great! This is probably going to make me change my mind.
No, it's good. It's good. So once we pick our teams, our quarantine houses, I'll put it on Facebook, and we would like you, the listening public, our loyal fans, to vote on who you think is the best and why you think Jake's is the worst.
All 7 of you.
7, including one of Jake's brothers because the other doesn't give a heck.
So I'm going to get a win.
One of my brothers because the other doesn't give a heck.
My number 1 pick. I think this guy is really interesting. I love watching him on TV. Bear Grylls.
Ooh, nice.
I just think whether I'm in a home or I'm out in the wild, like that dude's going to come up with some cool stuff and he's going to have some rad stories and we're going to be able to just have a kick butt time.
Yeah, the accent gets a little much for me. And he'd probably think you were a lazy bum if you were just sitting around the couch. Like, shouldn't you be eating bugs or something?
Dude, I'll go do it then. Like, that'd be fun. If we're quarantined, like, we'll be out in nature.
In the backyard.
Him and me and
Crawling through the
obviously
grass.
3 other people that have yet to be named, but we're going to have a heck of a good time.
You went way different than I thought. Like, than even I thought. Like,
I've got mine planned out, and I feel like
You
they're
cheated, though. You've been planning it all day. We're going to get thrown into the
I'm
fire.
going to start picking based on what I think he's going to pick and just mess up his team.
Well, you get number 2,
good.
so
Except I have
take
no
one of his
clue
picks.
who he's going to pick.
I think mine are all really safe.
Man.
I'm glad that I shocked you as much as, you know.
Yeah, because you're really making me think now. Because I had like 3 in my head that I'm like, I probably get all 3, but they're not.
See, the purpose, like I said, with him is if I'm quarantined, like we're gonna go out in nature and do some cool stuff. I'm like, yeah, we'll come home and sleep in the house at night, but
Together?
no, I'm gonna have a 4-bedroom house.
Oh. So still you 2 are together, and then there's
He's gonna sleep in the backyard. He's not coming inside.
Sure.
Come
he's
on,
like
never
he's
come
like an
He's gonna dig a trench in the backyard and
outdoor
like
cat.
yeah, for sure. All right, sorry, Tyler.
All right. I am going to make my number 1 pick the Dwight Schrute.
Oh, that sounds horrible. Like, he's hilarious, but also I feel like he would drive me insane.
Right, but it's Dwight Schrute.
It is.
I could get over it real fast.
Twig it.
Dwight.
That's not a bad choice.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
You would just have to dress up like him all the time.
Oh,
Michael.
I would essentially just be playing pranks on him. Like, that's
so good.
probably why I'd pick him,
That
just to mess with him.
it's a good choice.
That's solid.
I'll
He
let it
would
slide.
keep you entertained.
Here's my first choice that none of you would pick, but would for sure be my favorite, and anyone that actually knows me would probably be like, nah, yeah, probably. Steven Ranella, host of Meat Eater, the book, the podcast, the radio, the TV show. He's great. He's educated. He's got a master's degree. He's an author. He's published some books. So he's well-spoken, but also, knows more about hunting than I could possibly ever know in my lifetime. And just is a good old boy from Michigan who totally seems like you could hang out with him and he wouldn't be like a pretentious asshole.
Sure.
So that's my number 1. My number 2 selection, and I think that I have to move him up my list,
You're afraid to lose him?
do.
is Jim Halpert. He was not at my, it felt a little rich to draft him to start the second round. But you got to be aware of your surroundings, and I don't think he was still going to be waiting for me in the later rounds of the draft. So
He was not.
So I'm going to take Jim. And I guess much like you said, I think that he and I have like a similar sense of humor. Like it's a little bit dry, but also he's good. He's good.
Yeah.
There'd be some laughs.
He was going to be my next one.
I know he was. You
because-
dirty dog.
Not only would I want to see I would watch. Like, I would just sit back. I wouldn't even have to play the pranks. I could just hang out. It'd be awesome. Man, I'm up again now. That really screwed me. I should have known you were going to do that.
That should have been your first pick.
No. I had to secure the man.
I never would have taken Dwiggett.
Yeah, it doesn't
There you
matter.
go. You could have got Dwight in the later
But
rounds.
Jim was on my list,
He's-
man.
He's worth more money to me.
All right.
He's
All right.
getting half a billion dollars.
$500 million.
I think my next one is going to be I think I'm going to go with Marshall Erickson from How I Met Your Mother.
I briefly considered that as well.
Because I think he and I are very, like, for what you said with Jim, like, I feel like that's someone I'd be able to hang out with all the time and have very few problems with. But he also could maybe take place of that Jim Halbert, and he and I could maybe team up on some pranks here.
What do you think about Lily?
No.
What do you mean?
Not
In
like
wh-
to
in
live
what
with her.
way?
Just what do you think?
I think she was played very well in the show,
That's reasonable.
but
I think she's
I
pretty
don't think-
weird.
Yeah.
Kind of cute. I can't look at her without thinking of band camp.
that was always.
I think
my
that's what
problem.
throws me
I've
off.
gotten
Yeah.
This
past
one
it
time
now.
at band camp.
I've definitely gotten past that now, but it especially when you watch the beginning, the first season, because
Yep.
it's so close.
Yep.
Right in time. So like she looks the same.
So
I have that same problem with Jason Biggs.
yes,
I tried to watch a new sitcom with him, and I was like, nope, he's
The
doing
one
it.
where he's a dad and he's got a brilliant kid.
I'm like, nope, he's stuck his
We
dong
watched
in
a
an
couple-
apple pie.
We watched a couple and we're like, no, we can't do
do you
this.
remember seeing Jason Biggs on? I think it was a U.S. Cellular commercial a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden he's back on TV. Good for that guy.
All right, I'm throwing you guys for a loop,
I gotta
obviously.
start
Hit
thinking
me.
here.
My number 2 pick, The Rock.
Whoa.
I just think, one, he'd bring a little humor to the table when we need it because he's got that comical side to him, but he's also got that serious side to him, the badass. I mean, if we're going to be in quarantine, I'm going to get a kick-ass quarantine body because The Rock's going to train me,
'Cause he's working out.
right? I'm going to work out with The Rock and I'm going to go hiking and
Unless
eat
you skip all
with
of
Bear
the-
Grylls.
Unless you skip all of the workouts and only do his cheat meals, which are like 30 pancakes.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to. No,
Giant
because
ass cookies.
no, because Bear Grylls and I are going to be out eating crickets and raccoons and stuff that we catch,
Dude,
man.
that sounds awesome. Just willingly
Lean.
eating crickets.
Going to be eating lean and working hard.
That's disgusting.
And then at night
That's
around the
horrible.
fire, The Rock's going to get some comedy out and he's going to be funny and we're going to have a good old time.
Jake's over here building a freaking apocalypse.
Yeah, I don't know what he's
team.
doing. I'm just trying to hang out and talk about hunting.
The Rock probably hunts.
No way.
He's Samoan. He
Yeah.
hunted the wild
like-
pigs on the island, man.
Doubt
I
that.
don't think he ever actually lived on the island.
You never know.
I'm sure.
So I get another pick, right?
Yeah. Snake it up.
Now I'm all flustered.
Now you've got me. This totally. I was thinking of this when you guys were talking, and it's gonna fall in line with my building my apocalypse team. It's totally not what I was trying to do, but
Yeah, it is.
I just happened to flip through a couple of reruns last night. I think I'd like to take Hank Voight and have him come in quarantine with me. Oh, I don't know. I just watched Chicago PD and he's a little sketchy with some of the things he does, but he always seems to look out for people and take care of people, and
That's
people fear him, but they
kinda
love
loopy.
him.
You should take McDreamy.
So that's
instead.
his medic.
They fear him and they love him both. So Hank Voight
Sounds
is
a lot
coming
like
with
me in that regard. Feared but loved.
That's kind of the same. I couldn't
you
take
rather be
you
feared
because
or
you would be
loved?
in your own quarantine house.
Easy.
It wouldn't
Oh,
work.
shoot.
You were like 5.
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand.
Tyler?
Much like, just to remind everybody that Katie said I was the funniest person last week.
That's true. She did say that. All right, here's my curveball.
Ooh, I'm ready.
I would go Eve Baxter.
I love Eve Baxter. That
Because
is
one,
good.
I think she's hilarious.
Yeah.
2, I'm not a bad shot,
But Eve's good shot.
but yeah, like I feel like I could learn a lot, and I have no problem learning from a, I don't know how, 20-year-old girl now.
Yeah.
You'd take the later Eve Baxter, of course, not like
Oh,
the
yeah.
14-year-old Eve
I'd
Baxter.
take like pre her going to college, like the year she
When
took
she's
off
in high school?
No, like when she was the musician.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
After she graduated but didn't get in.
As long as she's over
West
18.
Point. Well,
Why?
yeah.
She can just live in the same house.
Well, I know, but without a parent
Sorry,
there,
what are you
there'd
thinking?
be all sort of legal obligations. Would Tyler adopt her? You got a minor living in the house with no
But,
parent.
well, you don't know about...
I looked at this as like it's the real world. Like you sign a contract to be here.
Okay. So her parents would have
But either
already
way-
signed that contract.
Speaking of her
Right,
parents,
so-
and I'm glad that you brought that up, I'll be taking Mike Baxter.
Dang it! That was my next one on the way back.
I can't believe you went there. As soon as you said Eve, I was like, oh no, he's on to me. So this one was another one that I had to move up my chart a little bit.
I thought about taking Mike at this one. But
Mike is so great. We can just talk about America and guns and shooting and hunting and cars and manly stuff, grunting. It's basically like living with Tim the Toolman Taylor because he's like literally the same character.
Literally, Tim the Toolman Taylor.
It's so great. So that would be Mike Baxter for me. I am feeling strong. I feel a little bit bad for Jim because he's not necessarily. I don't know how well he's going to fit in to my
he
house.
doesn't fit in with the first 2 other guys.
He
so far.
doesn't. I may have to trade him out, but like he's so good on his own that he can probably overcome.
adjust.
it's just quarantine. Like he's gonna go back to his normal life and
Like it'll be
everything
fine.
after this.
If I know he didn't really fit, but he's just so good that I couldn't pass it up. But I think Mike Baxter and Steve Ranella would do very well together. And my final choice, I'll be selecting Tim Riggins of the Dillon Panthers. That guy, at first, I hated him. I was like, man, this guy's a giant D-bag. But then, turns out he just likes to drink beer and hang out and have greasy hair, you know? Which, during quarantine,
What else you gonna do, right?
that all sounds very acceptable. I was a big Jason Street guy at first, because, you know, I'm kind of a square and, like, real goody two-shoes. Then Jason got all wrecked up, but then he turned into kind of an asshole. And then, well, that's my issue with Riggins, was when he slept with his buddy's girlfriend. You should not do that. For all of you out there, just don't do it.
No,
Especially when your best friend's in a wheelchair.
find somebody else.
There's so many fish. in the
Swipe
sea.
right. Go swipe right.
No, left.
Left.
means no.
My bad.
Right is yes.
Well, swipe right on somebody else. That's what I'm
Oh,
getting at.
sure, just not on Lila.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Or swipe up if you're a super liker. One time I super liked and now I'm engaged and life's weird.
It's just it's so special.
Damn kids.
This just got real.
So,
So
to,
Tyler,
to recap,
we're on to Tyler's fourth
all
pick.
right, Tyler.
So I'm struggling with this pick, which is funny because okay. The 2 people I'm between are actually played by the same actor.
Ooh.
But they're similar, but they're very different. I think I'm gonna go with Star-Lord from the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Which one's that?
What? Chris Pratt?
Chris Pratt. Okay.
My
was
other
my-
choice was
that was
Andy
my-
Dwyer.
Okay, that was my guess.
But I feel
was
like
that it was Chris
Star-Lord,
Pratt.
like he's hilarious, but he's also just like he's a little bit more youthful than Andy Dwyer.
Andy,
Like
yeah,
I've
is
already
a
got
turd.
Dwight. I can't have both
can't
of
have
them
two
in the same
turds
house.
in
You
your
would never
house.
get anything done.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Star-Lord, he's pretty funny, but he brings some gadgets with.
Is Guardians of the Galaxy a TV show?
It's a movie. Oh, all right. Do I have to go with?
It does say TV character
That's
slash
true, it does.
host.
All right, so then I'll switch.
Breaking the rules. Breaking
No,
the rules.
just put me Andy Dwyer.
Oh,
Oh, he fell in a pit.
yeah. You settled. You settled on your
Hey,
fourth
You really
pick.
settled. If you'd have fought me
No.
even for 1 second,
Because
I'd have allowed
now No, because now I have a musician in the house too,
Oh, sure.
and I can just hear him sing about the pit all the
That
time.
is an excellent idea.
And I think he'll sneak April into the house too. So
Whoa. What are you trying to say about Audrey Plaza?
I'm just saying.
I'm not saying, but
She's
I'm
gonna
saying.
find a way in the house if Andy's there.
Jacob,
Facts.
make it count in your team of weirdos.
I'm struggling right now because as you called Tyler out for a TV character, I realized that two people in my mind were not so TV characters as much as movie characters.
We also gave him The Rock, who's not actually a TV character. He plays someone on TV.
TV character, he was The Rock on WWE Forever. That's TV.
That wasn't a TV character.
That's TV.
I mean, technically,
His
it's
name is
TV.
not The Rock. It's Dwayne Johnson. So
It's-
that's
yeah,
a
on his
TV
birth
character as
certificate,
The Rock.
This is The Rock. I considered it, and I allowed it.
Thank you, Judge.
I'm just saying.
I'm not saying, but I'm saying.
Wow, I'm really struggling for number 4
What
here.
about Mrs. Jetson?
No,
She's kind of got a donk.
no. But I do need to spice it up a little bit. Yeah, I'm struggling.
Guy Fieri.
I actually thought about him. Like,
He was actually one of my other ones.
Yeah, I thought
and
about
now
him.
that I didn't take him, I'm kind of mad.
Yeah,
because
that would be a good choice.
I think I'm gonna go just because of the whole Office theme that you guys started, and I need some female characters.
Dr. Derek Shepard.
I think I'm bringing Pam Halpert.
Oh, Pam. Pan.
Pam.
Pan.
Pam.
Pan. Wham, bam, thank you, Pam.
I just think that she's not like she wouldn't stick out on her own, but I think she's a good supporting cast character that
She'd
would
hang out well with
she'd
that
fit
group.
in with Hank. Hank would take her in as like his daughter, and he'd take care of her.
I don't know what she brings to the apocalypse, but
She's
I
got
guess you
like
gotta have
that kind
someone
of
to
like
bring it out.
nerdy, funny, cute.
she'd
Well,
probably be like
if
the best
the
shaver on team.
apocalypse is going on, you gotta have a female to help keep reproduction going.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying.
I didn't know.
I'm
that's
not
where
saying,
we're
but
going
I'm
with this.
saying.
Well, you brought up the apocalypse. I'm just preparing for it.
Well,
so,
if I'd have known that would change
Yeah,
everything.
I would change my team.
well,
Well,
you have a
you-
female.
I would
You
change.
do.
You
That's
got-
fine.
I would
You
change 3 members of my team.
So in review,
Yeah, run through yours. We'll each run through our teams.
well, I wrote them all down.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad somebody did. We're gonna have to go back and
I'll
do that
start.
after the show, otherwise.
My 4: Bear Grylls, The Rock, or Dwayne Johnson. Well, I mean, technically, The Rock is a TV guy on WWE. Hank Voight and Pam Halpert.
Pan.
Pan.
Pan. Pan.
Tyler's: Dwight Schrute,
Twig it.
Marshall Erickson, Eve Baxter in the in-between high school and academy years.
specific.
You
You
had to be
asked.
specific.
No, I wasn't going to be specific. You guys asked, so I'm like, all right. Well, that's the youngest I would go.
18 to 19-year-old Eve.
And Andy Dwyer after he was called out and can't use Star-Lord.
Same person.
And if you were gonna pick someone from Guardians of the Galaxy, which I should add I've not seen, it would be the raccoon.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
What's that guy got a name?
Yeah, Rocket.
No, I like raccoon.
It's Rocket. I would.
The
Okay,
I wouldn't pick him.
if we were taking anybody, it's Groot.
For sure, Groot.
Nah, Groot can suck it. He's
You
not
don't
a
even know who
raccoon.
Groot is. You never seen
Groot.
Yeah, he's the little stick guy.
He's not
He's the
little
big
in
stick
Guardians
guy.
of the Galaxy.
Come on.
He's the
In
little
the
stick
second
guy.
one, he is.
Groot.
I've
It's
got
also
a-
Vin Diesel, who's badass.
Yeah, I think that he might kiss other men, but that's a talk for
That's
another
cool.
time.
And Collin, moving on. Collin's 4: Stephen Ranella,
Oh, he's great.
Jim Halpert,
Also great.
the Mike Baxter,
Very great.
and Tim Reagans.
Party animal. Great. Man, that's a strong team.
Ladies and
I don't mean
gentlemen
to
of
sway the vote,
podcast
but
world,
this seems like an easy one.
and anyone with the last name of
There are
Reese,
going to be 0 votes.
anyone with the last name of Reese, I expect a vote coming in.
I'll pay Katie to vote, and then I'll win 1-0 to 0, and bam!
Can we go vote for our own?
No.
Can we vote for one of the other two?
If you think that they don't suck, which is how I feel. Actually, no. I'd probably live in Tyler's house. Yours house.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, well, in your house, I can't, eat tasty snacks. They'd be like, oh, sorry, you have crickets or protein, and that's it.
Pam's going to cook us
What
a
do you mean?
nice
You got the Rocks tequila.
chicken marsala dinner. The Rock's going to come up with, a 30,000 calorie lunch of
You're gonna eat that
pancakes
for
and
2
ribs
weeks.
and
Well, I'm
steak
into
and
that one.
I mean, seriously, I think I got a variety of foods. And if you want to have a cricket lunch, you and Bear go out back and take care of business. And
That sounds. What does that mean? You grossy.
if you want to eat crickets, Bear will take you out in the woods, serve up some crickets, you're good.
I was looking more into that. You and Bear are going to take care of business.
With the crickets, eating crickets. Come on. Now, where's your head at?
I didn't know what you meant. Sorry.
Well, I clarified it. Is it better now?
What else could I have meant?
I
Can we
don't know.
discuss all the possibilities.
No, we don't have
Maybe
time
on
for
the
that.
next episode.
God, so since mine's better, if you guys just want to vote for that one instead, just think about how many good times and beers you could crush with the boys. You could just drink Natter Days.
You want some solid tequila? Rock's bringing it.
I don't want tequila anymore. Not after the one fateful Cinco de Mayo.
There's always one.
There's always that one. Well, folks, we made it. We're into the double digits. And I was going to say we couldn't do it without you, but frankly, we'd probably still do it without you if you weren't listening. So
We don't
thank
want
you.
to.
We don't want to. It's preferred if someone listens to this besides us.
And votes. Please.
Yeah, please just.
We don't want to come back with Katie being the deciding vote. And
Yeah.
we
Because we all know she's going to pick Collin. I
Yeah.
mean, she thinks he's the funniest person.
when this episode is over, when we hang up these microphones this evening, we're going right to her and putting her on the spot and making her pick right now.
That's true. Maybe we'll record another episode back to back with Katie's reactions.
Yeah. Whatever it takes.
We're not doing that.
I'm not gonna let you sway her.
You can't
I'm just gonna
influence.
list the
That's
teams off,
cheating.
and she's got to vote. And I'm not even gonna tell her whose teams they are. Then we'll get a real vote, and she won't be suckered
it.
into Collin being her favorite.
I think you really screwed the pooch with your. What's his name? Hank.
Hank Voight? Who
Yeah.
doesn't like Hank Voight?
I literally, when you said that, I was like, okay, who's this guy?
You don't watch Chicago PD?
No, not
I've
even
never
one
watched it either.
like 1 second of an episode.
Wow.
So now we're only working with 3. So if you're looking at a total,
I bet you
composite
Katie's
score,
seeing Hank Voight.
No,
I bet you she
No.
has. I will
No.
bet you. I'll bet
No.
you a 12-pack of Natter Days.
I'm telling you that no one's ever heard of this clown. He sucks.
Wow, podcast land, please vote for Hank Voight.
Oh, man.
They don't
and
know
the
who he
team
is
of Jake
either. They're
Reese.
like, sorry, who's this guy?
Chicago PD is prime time.
That's fine. There's like 6 of those shows. How's anyone to keep them straight?
No.
If you'd have said Derek Shepard, I'd have voted for you.
He's not even on the air anymore, bro.
Well, that's because he was too McDreamy and he died crashing his Porsche. What's the other guy's name? McSteamy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad that you know all those.
My mom used to watch that.
Oh,
so
sure
I
she did.
She did. I haven't. That's why I didn't know how anything had this happened since like 6 years ago when I lived at home. But what are you gonna do? You know. But I know what you, our lovely listeners, are gonna do, and that's 1, go vote on their Facebook. 2, make some tasty dinner plans for next week and invite us over, and we'll record a podcast with you. And 3. Please share us with your friends. Tell them that we don't suck as bad as they think we do after episode 1.
It gets better.
Oh, it's so much
That's
better.
why you're still here.
You can hear us now. We got Tyler an Airhead box to put his mic on so you can hear him.
I don't have to bend over.
His posture is much better.
Just looks great.
Things are really coming along here. Someday Luke Reese will listen. Tyler Frederick might listen someday. But, for now, that is not the case. But it's okay. We're trucking on anyway. So, I guess that's it. We'll see you next week for episode 11. We're practically almost at episode 100, which at that time we'll throw a party. 100 is kind of a lot, though, if we're doing once a week. It's like 2 years almost.
we'll get there before we know it.
Before you know it, we'll be 2 years into this sucker. We'll have fancy equipment. We'll have cool sound drops.
And Oscars and academies and all sorts of awards to go
I'm
with
gonna
it.
have to build a bigger mantle to put them all
you might
on.
have to kick this wall out.
We could do that over in Quack's yard.
Yeah, he wouldn't mind.
No.
Less to mow.
Hopefully one of us has that $500 million contract by then.
Yeah, if any of you have $500 million laying around, honestly, we'd probably even split it up evenly at this point.
Sure.
Don't even need all of it.
Yeah, so that's okay. But until next time, for Jake Reese, Tyler Heck, I'm Colin Frederick. Let's get the heck out of here.